Hello there, welcome to the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon, and I'm here today with the prediction for the Copa America 2021. If that sounds interesting, let's hop right into it.
One step beyond.
So in this video, I'm going to tell you how I think the Copa America 2021 is going to go down. I'm going to give you predictions for the champions, the runners-up, third place, fourth place, the biggest surprise team of the tournament, the biggest flop team of the tournament, as well as individual awards such as top scorer, best goalkeeper, and best overall player. Without further ado, let's start off. My pick for the champions of the tournament is none other than Brazil. And you can argue that Brazil are the best team in the world, and they're easily the best in South America, head and shoulders above everyone else. They're the reigning champions and the host again. Now, every single time Brazil's hosted the Copa America, they've won the Copa America. They also have a world-class player in every position. They have Alisson, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Casemiro, Neymar, Gabigol, the list goes on. This is one of the most talented squads in the world. In my opinion, Brazil was the best team at the 2018 World Cup. The only problem was they left major gaps between the fullbacks and the center backs. After getting eliminated in the quarterfinals, Chiche tinkered with the style a little bit. So now the team is built more so on defensive solidity, but it still allows a lot of freedom for the flair players. As a result, this team doesn't score as many goals as they used to, but they definitely concede a lot less. And ultimately, this has led to a team that is very balanced. And this was best seen 2 summers ago at Copa America 2019 when Brazil wiped the floor with everyone. All the other big teams in South America either have aging squads or internal problems. The only two that really have their act together are Brazil and Uruguay. But when you compare the two, Brazil has far more talent and far more experience. So therefore, I think they'll be the champions of 2021 by far. Speaking of Uruguay, I think they'll be the runners-up for this tournament. They're very organized and they play very well, but again, they don't have the star power or the experience that Brazil has. They still are arguably the second best team in South America, however. The strong spine of this team remains. Muslera, Godin, Jimenez, Caceres, Suarez, Cavani. But now they finally have a strong midfield as well, with new talented players coming in like Torreira, Bentancur, Fede Valverde, and De Arrascaeta as well. In the past 2 World Cup qualifiers, both of Uruguay's matches ended in 0-0 draws, which shows that they have some problems up top, but their defenses are very strong. Now at the tournament, at the Copa America, I think that Uruguay will eventually find some goals with players like Suarez and Cavani up top. But again, their defense is very, very strong. And as this Champions League season has shown us, the most successful teams are the teams with the best defenses in the football climate that we live in today. Now for third place, I think it'll be Argentina. Now at the last tournament, Argentina finished third as well, but they had a really topsy-turvy tournament. They started off in poor form and then finished the tournament on a high note. And while I think they'll finish in the same position in this tournament as they did in 2019, this will overall be a much better performance from Argentina. The coach Lionel Scaloni has found formations and a style that works, and the team is very stable. There are still some flaws, however. For example, the team isn't that strong defensively and they do concede a lot of goals. And while the squad is good, it's nowhere near as good as Argentina's squads in the past. So Argentina do have visible weaknesses, but I think they will play some good football, and overall this will be a good tournament. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll win, unless of course Messi goes on full Maradona mode and wins the tournament for Argentina single-handedly, which is possible. Now for fourth place, I'm going to go with Ecuador. Now this may be a bold decision, but World Cup qualifiers are a great indicator to how a team's going to play at the Copa America. Now even though Ecuador actually lost their last 2 qualifiers, they were playing some beautiful football prior to that. The squad is filled with relatively unknown players out of South America, but they do play some really attractive football and they blend together well as a team. Obviously, they lack the experience and the squad depth to win the tournament, but with this talented crop of young players, I think they will just slip into the semis. Now, for the biggest surprise team, I'm going to again say Ecuador. Like I said before, I think Ecuador will finish 4th and therefore be the most surprising or dark horse team of the tournament. Ecuador actually have a very poor record at the Copa America. They've never won before, and at 2019, they were arguably the worst team in the tournament along with Bolivia. That being said, Ecuador have a new and talented squad, and in an odd year like this, crazier things have happened. Ultimately, I think Ecuador will surprise many people, and I really hope they do, because it's been a long time since this team has tasted success. Now, for the biggest flop team of the tournament, I'm going to have to say Peru. As sad as it is to see, we are witnessing the decline of Peru. If World Cup qualifiers are anything to go by, this Peruvian team may be the worst team in South America at the moment. They have been abysmal in their last few games. Now, let's not forget, this team has incredibly overachieved in the last few years. Back-to-back bronze medals at the Copa América, qualifying for the World Cup, finishing runners-up in 2019. This team has seriously punched above its weight. However, that talented squad, that golden generation, is getting older and older, and there's no adequate replacements to be seen. Specifically in attack, Paulo Guerrero and Farfan have not been called up to the squad, and the 4 forwards that they have called up have a combined 5 international caps between them and 0 goals. 2 of the players have never even played for the Peruvian national team before. Putting all that into perspective, I don't think this will be a good tournament for Peru, and I think they will do very poorly, unfortunately. Now on to the individual player awards, and first we're going to start off with the top scorer. My pick for the top scorer is the Colombian striker Luis Murillo. The Copa America is chocked full of world-class attackers, more than any other position, meaning that choosing a top scorer is definitely going to be a toss-up. Of course, you have players you can't overlook, like Messi, Neymar, Suarez, Cavani, Aguero, and other guys like Edu Vargas, who always seem to score at the Copa America, but I think this year, the top scorer will be Luis Murillo. Murillo has been extremely clinical for Atalanta this season, and I think that form will carry over to the Copa America. Colombia's biggest strength in this squad is their attack, so expect him to play some aggressive, offensive football, which will suit guys like Murillo. Now, between him and his fellow countryman and fellow Atalanta teammate, Duvan Zapata, who are both great strikers, I think Murillo is a more complete player and slightly better, in my opinion. More importantly, Colombia have been drawn into Group B alongside Brazil, Venezuela, Ecuador, and Peru. Now, besides Brazil, all those teams have been known to give up a few goals here and there, so Murillo will have plenty of chances to score. Now, for the best overall player at this tournament, I'm going to go with the Brazilian defender, Marquinhos. Again, it will be easy to predict that a player like Messi, Neymar, Suarez will be the best overall player at the tournament, but I actually think a defender will be the standout player in 2021. As I believe Brazil will win the tournament, most of their success will be based around their defense, which Marquinhos plays a vital role in. For PSG this season, Marquinhos has easily been their best defender, as well as growing into a true leader at the back. Now, with a more complete team like Brazil, Marquinhos' talents will show even more. Now, for the best goalkeeper award, I'm going to go with Emi Martinez. Last tournament, Alisson easily picked up the best goalkeeper award after a dominant performance. While I still think Alisson will be great this time around, he benefits from being surrounded by a world-class defense. And that's why I actually think the best goalkeeper will be Emi Martinez, the late bloomer who has been great for both Aston Villa and Arsenal as of late. With Argentina's defensive frailties, Martinez will be called into action on numerous occasions, where I think he will really save his team. Lastly, a prediction for the overall tournament is I think the 2021 Copa America could be a very strange and very weird tournament. Now, this tournament has seen a ton of chaos behind the scenes. First of all, this was supposed to be last summer, obviously, but then the COVID pandemic happened and got postponed to this summer. Originally, it was supposed to be hosted in both Argentina and Colombia, but then after internal political turmoil in Colombia, it got moved to solely Argentina. But then after Argentina saw a massive spike in COVID cases, Argentina were stripped of their hosting rights as well. And it was supposed to be in Chile, maybe the United States, but then they moved it to Brazil, even though they just hosted the last Copa America. And then from there, the Brazilian players initially said they were going to boycott the tournament, and then they said they were going to play. So all this chaos could lead to a potentially weird tournament. Now, the last time something similar to this happened was in the 2001 Copa America 20 years ago, which was hosted in Colombia. Now, because of an insurgency in Colombia, the tournament was initially called off and then called back on only several days before. Argentina and Canada actually withdrew from the tournament, and then Honduras and Costa Rica were called in as replacements. Honduras actually eliminated Brazil in the quarterfinals and then finished third, and Mexico even finished runners-up as Colombia won their first ever Copa America. So who knows, we may see something similar to this. Maybe Ecuador will finally win the Copa America, who knows? This tournament is already memorable for all the chaos that's happening behind the scene, but who knows, it may be memorable for a Cinderella story or something crazy happening on the field. So that has been my predictions for the 2021 Copa America. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Also make sure to put your predictions in the comments below. So anyway, this has been the Summer Football Fest presented to you by the Football Bloc. My name is Brandon, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
One step beyond.